So, what happened? So, here's our official story. Okay? Tell me about the tournament, blah, 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 blah. Alright, we are ready. Let's begin. Trumpets sounded over the arena, announcing the commencement of the Fishers Triathlon. We were to distinguish ourselves in three sports, if you could call them such. You be the judge, dear reader. The first round was fish carrying, if you can believe it. They built narrow bridges over pits of mud and placed barrels on either end, one side filled with fish and the other side empty. The goal was to get all the fish from one side to the other, barehanded without falling into the mud. I'm sure this is just what you imagine for a royal tournament. Throwing fish at your opponents was prohibited, but there was one unofficial but well understood rule in this tournament. Don't get caught. We had to decide which of us would participate, as well as how fair we wanted to play. We decided to complete honestly. Athletics check, 46,080 XP for everybody. Perception check succeeded. We didn't get any XP for that. We didn't use the perception check. Just gave us another option. The second round was untying knots. Competitors would be tied up on poles resembling ship masts, and they had to escape the ropes. We once again had a choice to make. We decided to compete honestly. Trickery. Checks to succeeded. 30,720 XP per person. So between those two right now, we just got 70 grand plus of XP each. The last round of the tournament was diving for river pearls. Huge tubs were filled with mussels and river water, and some empty jars had been placed on sets of scales. We'd have to open the mussels with our bare hands, gathering the pearls and deposit them in our team's jar. Of course, if playing fair wasn't a priority, we could try weighing down the jar with other things as well. We tried to cheat extensively and get all of our rivals disqualified. Trickery check succeeded. Gain experience 61,440 XP per person. The pinnacle of cunning is to make it seem like everyone else is cheating while coming out completely clean yourself. While each of our rivals tried adding a stone or two to their jars, Octavia didn't hesitate to add a few handfuls of mud to each of theirs. In the end, our team's jar came out of the lightest, but the others were so heavy the judges decided to check their contents for authenticity. Oh, how the crowd laughed when our opponent's jars poured out stones and mud, while our jars contained only pearls. It was a complete triumph. Every team but ours was disqualified, and we were awarded the victory by default. 960 XP. Good job, team. That was tits. Now look at all that shit. Now how close do these two get to leveling up? Oh, look at that. It might be done by the end of this video, simply because they're going to have more to do at the next part of the tournament. So since we leveled up, you better believe we're going to level up. Lindsay, a bard, level 15. Another bonus to her Inspire Competence. Now we're at a +5 for all of our skills. Inspire Heroics is another option she has. Notice this is a morale bonus on saving throws and a +4 dodge bonus to armor class. That's amazing. That's literally a way for her to be super tanky as well as tank everyone around her. Let's keep going with those. I like Trickery and Knowledge World, and Lindsay is also good at Persuasion. Sure, why not? Nothing here. Okay. Alright, what are we grabbing for her? So we already have Deadly Aim, Rapid Shot, Mini Shot. Is there anything else we can get with bows? Oh no. Do we have any meta magics for you yet, Lindsay? Doesn't look like it. So this might be a chance for you to get a meta magic for her. I would recommend something like Extend, since many of her spells have a duration to them, even the debuffs. We could get Improved Precise Shot, since she does attack with range. This ignores partial concealment. This is the 20% like a blur effect. She would completely ignore that and just hit them like normal. That's not the worst idea ever. We can improve critical for whatever weapon she's using, in this case a heavy crossbow. Or other things that might stick out. Weapon focus for that same crossbow. But in this case, I think... oh, do we have... what's that feat called? I think it's probably unavailable. Let me prove it to myself. Starts with a C. No. What's it called? It's the one that allows you to cluster shots. Does she have it already? Oh, she has it already. Oh, yeah, okay. I'll say, what the hell? Okay, I saw Hammer the Gas. That's what reminded me, for those of you wondering what I was thinking. That's for melee attacks. It's not the same thing. Blind Fight. That's another obvious choice for her. but that's in melee. So again, I think we probably want the improved critical, or the improved precise shot, excuse me. Again, if you don't want that, then a meta magic is a solid choice. Now remember, she's a spontaneous caster, and as such, any meta magic you apply to her spells this way will take a full round to cast. But this, again, gives her the flexibility of having different spell slots available for the same spell. So like a level 1 spell that gets extended becomes level 2. So she'll have 2 versions of that same spell. The normal version and the double duration version. Nothing wrong with that. And she has a few spells that do damage when powered and maximized are viable, I suppose. Intensify even as well. But by and large, as a bard, they don't get much in the way of damaging spells. There's some, just not many. I would stick with your duration stuff. Or persistent is another fine example. It's a big +2 to your spell level, so a level 1 spell becomes level 3. But this one allows you to basically have them make the saving throw twice. So basically this is like disadvantage. So they roll twice, but they take the lowest of the 2 rolls. And that's basically it. Not really. Sorry, I'm phrasing it wrong. Basically, they make their saving throw. If they make it, they roll again to see if they really do make it. There you go. If they fail it on the first try, poof, they're just screwed. They don't have to roll again. So basically, just another way to make sure that it lands. We can reach, of course, too, so her distance of some of her single target stuff is longer. I still think, though, that improved precise shot. I'd rather have her hit her mark. Level 5. Spell. Notice that we have Mind Fog. We already have Kai Shout. This is one of her damaging spells I was just talking about. She did have Greater Heroism. God damn it, Lindsay. Didn't put that on her list of spells. My bad. Phantasm Web is amazing. Summon monsters, of course, are always helpful. Resonating Word is kind of weird. Greater Spell Magic. I'm going to do the Phantasmal Web. She's going to be kind of an illusion, kind of enchantment kind of person. And I think she'll do well for that. For those of you wondering why I was pissed and moaning, because she actually had Greater Heroism. Not just Heroism. She had Greater Heroism. That's the one that's a +4 to your skills. Not +2. We cast Good Hope. That's a +2. I could have cast Greater Heroism and got a +4 for our skills for everybody. So it's kind of a screw up on my part. In fact, I haven't done her spells in so long that she doesn't even have these other ones out here as well. Here's her your piercing scream, but here's her Kai Shout. Anyway, moving on. Oh, by the way, I need to shut that off, though. Sorry. She's wasting it. Not that she doesn't have plenty. Just I don't want her to waste it. Alright. We are taking you. You're done with Arcane Trickster. Now you're back on Wizard. And again, she's going to get to level 9 Wizard, 10 Arcane Trickster, 1 Rogue by the end of her build. So she will not get this feat, but she will get this one eventually. Just not today. Solid upgrade, though. More Perception, Trickery, Stealth, Arcana, and Use Magic Device. Because she's cool like that. Now, what to get her? Arcane Armor Training, Mage Tattoo Transmutation, Spell Vulnerability Dodge, Precise Shot. Oh, we can get her a, since she's doing ranged attacks. She got Rapid Shot any Rapid Shots here. Deadly Aim, we could do that. She's more of a caster, though. Greater Spell Focus and Transmutation, I can do that. Make sure Transmutation spells have more likely to land. And there is one good Ray Transmutation spell in the game. That's Disintegrate. It's amazing for her. I could give her another spell focus and something else like Evocation. There's nothing wrong with that. Her Ray spells on those ones don't usually have saving throws. Except Battering Blast. Scorching Ray doesn't. Hellfire Ray doesn't. I'm trying to go through my head the different Ray spells she has. Snowball, that's a Conjuration spell. She could buff that one. Combat Casting is also useful for her. Eldritch Heritage. Oh, okay, so now this is something interesting. By picking Eldritch Heritage, she could literally get the bonus of a specific bloodline. Okay. Notice you need a few things for to unlock Eldritch Heritage. Okay. One, you need not to have it. Duh. You need to be character level 3 minimum and a charisma of 13 or so. She has that covered. Notice she has to have a skill focus as well, and she has one. And hers is in Trickery, if I'm not mistaken, which is why we actually took her along. So who is the Trickery guy? Nobody. What the hell? That's why we can't pick something else. It's giving us the option. I guess then we really need to do is we need to get ourselves trickery. Sorry. We need to get ourselves one of these. That's on this list down here. And the reason that this is important, if you went this route, you can get Eldritch Heritage, you can get improved Eldritch Heritage, and then there's greater Eldritch Heritage. Each of those is a different upgrade. This one is like the lowest level upgrade for Draconic whatever they do, or Celestial, or any of these other guys, okay? So this is all the stuff that's available to sorcerers. So, what would this give her? I'm trying to think. Like if we went Orc Bloodline, or the Draconic, no. The Abyssal Bloodline, there we go. The Orc Bloodline and the Abyssal Bloodline have natural strength increases, okay? I forget which tier it is. So it's either the Eldritch Heritage, the Improved Eldritch Heritage, or the Greater Eldritch Heritage. There's 3 of them. And if you get that, you basically get whatever innate thing that they get as they level up. I want to say it's going to be the greater one, but it could be the middle one. So that's Improved Eldritch Heritage. So that's only 2 feet investment to get that, not counting, of course, all the other shit that you needed. So if that's a thing, she could have like a +6 to her strength by the end of the build. Not something that she would normally do. Having said that, if she went all the way for the Arcane Bloodline one, and some of these, by the way, are broken. If she went for Eldritch Heritage, Improved Eldritch Heritage, and Greater Eldritch Heritage, for the Arcane Bloodline, because she had any lore skill or any knowledge skill, she could literally get free spells for her spell book, like the Sorcerer gets for their Bloodline. They get like a level, what was it? 7, 11, and 15, I think they get like free spells, maybe 7, 13, and 17, something like that. That they get free spells, 1 to add to their book, which again is something. Undead Bloodline, again, they all get like different things, like the Serpentine Bloodline, they'll get like their little serpent pets, and they get like natural poison resistance and shit like that. So that's what these basically do for her. She can't get it though, because she doesn't have skill focus that's on this list. It says any, which is clearly a lie, because again, trickery is not on this list. That's why you're not seeing something pop over here to tell you which do you want to pick. So again, if you show unavailable, see all the red, we could pick any of these things, and I don't know what they give you per se, and I don't know which ones are broken, but it's worth doing and checking to see if it's something that interests you. Feel free to check that. But notice I need either skill focused athletics or skill focused lore religion, and I could start towards the abyssal, for example. On that, let's actually think about this. Do we want one of these? Nah. It's fun. But am I going to grab that in this place? Truth Initiative. Meta Magic. Sure, it has one. Somewhere. Just pouring outside too. What we got here, kid? Sneak attack and precise shot. You know, I think I'm just going to stick with the range stuff. As weird as it is to say, when she's not wielding a spell, it's probably to her benefit to have something like rapid shot. Yes, it's a penalty to her swing, but she gets an extra arrow. Again, this is one of the reasons we gave her the speed bow. Okay? So that's okay. Man, it's really pouring out there. Alright, new spell time, baby. Look at this shit. Alright, so we have all these. Notice we have Limited Wish as one of our spells. Alright? This literally allows her to use a bunch of Diamond Dust and cast a bunch of spells at level 6 on down. That's just an amazing one to slot in, especially for a wizard where they don't have like every spell under the sun available to them right now like a sorcerer does. This is just a, nope, I want that. And that's amazing. For here, what else might we grab though? Again, we want to get transmutation, but she has plenty of those already, as you can see. And again, it says limited wishes transmutation by being green. That's a lie. So I would not slot it in there even if it lets you do it. Same with like the Delayed Blast Fireball. It's because these are new spells. These are ones that are, again, available to me thanks to my mod. But that doesn't mean I don't want something in this list. Create a deck could come in handy. Another race spell, even though, again, these are necromancy spells and not part of her repertoire. What do we got back here, though, at level 6 that I might be missing out? Actually, first, let me check, make sure that I have... yeah, I got transmutation spells at every level. Just proving to myself. Okay, Dragonkind 1 is still missing from my list, and that seems weird that she doesn't have Dragonkind 1. How the hell does she not have that spell? Transformation, amazing spell. Matter of fact, there you go. It's an amazing spell. Definitely want to have it. Okay? Now again, unlike Lindsay, who autopilots stuff, she actually has to put stuff in her spell book. So what we're going to put here, a little Cold Ice Strike in there. Hell, she had Great Heroes. God damn it. I didn't go through anybody's list like I should have. Alright, so we got some nice Caustic Eruptions. That's our amazing acid damage. I'm happy to put a Limited Wish in there, because why the hell not? And that's the end of that. Again, we even got working towards level 9 stuff. And again, Fiery Body is an amazing transmutation spell. Turns her into a fire demon from like ridiculous levels of badassery. Now here's Val's upgrade. Valerie, more armor. Let's see, what does this do? Ring armor check penalties reduced by 1. Okay. Increases the maximum dexterity bonus allowed by his armor by 1. Oh, okay. Some more armor. She has a high enough dex. Nice. In addition, the fighter can also move at his normal speed while wearing medium armor. At 7th level, the fighter can move his normal speed while wearing heavy armor. Yeah, that's why she can move in full plate at a speed of 30. Because she has this training. This one here is Tower Shield training. Her penalty is reduced by 3, and the maximum dexterity bonus allowed by his Tower Shield increases by 2. Nice. Val, you're badass. Look at that athletics, man. And more persuasion. Now, we get a feat at every level with a fighter build. That's what makes fighter builds so amazing. Greater Weapon Specialization. She gets an extra +2 to her damage with her Bastard Sword. If they don't like that, we already got Missile Shield and Greater Shield Focus and Shield Focus. Do I have Armor Focus? Heavy Armor Focus, yeah, I do. I can do Endurance, Improved Blind Fight. Your melee attacks ignore the miss chance for less than total concealment. You can still re-roll your miss chance percentile roll for total concealment. So basically this ignores blur, much like Lindsay's feat that we just picked up for her. This is for melee though. So Improved Blind Fight. I like that. That's what we're grabbing. Allows her to effectively hit targets. And that's always a boon. And now, class. Dun dun dun. My turn. Level 17 Magus, bitch. +5 weapon upgrade. Finally is here. And my last bonus Magus feat. So I got 2 more feats. Now what have I been working on? Penetrating Strikes, Blind Fight, Arcane Strike, 2-weapon fighting. Sounds like I want a greater 2-weapon fighting now. Or improved 2-weapon fighting at least. Skill, sure. I'll take those 2. I'll take these 2. I'll take these 2. And another point for use magic device. Nice. Oh god, those are sexy looking. Alright, from here. First I do the lesser choice. And again, I have improved 2-weapon fighting, so I can get an extra attack with my offhand weapon if I wanted to do that with the daggers. I got greater weapon focus, so I can make my longsword have another +1 to its swing. I can have my greater spell focus for evocation, so it's easier for my evocation spells to land. That's not the worst idea ever. Do weapon specialization, just get an extra 2 damage on it. But there is, let's go to this one because I want to scroll easier without having that thing in my way. There is some stuff that's missing. Double Slice, that's only if you're really relying on your strength or your dex for your offhand weapon. I can get Dreadful Carnage. Again, that's kind of cheesing it. I probably had that in the build originally, but I probably decided we didn't need it. And it is kind of cheese. You kill one person and everyone in the big fart cloud around you gets scared of you. It's just kind of weird. And it doesn't even have to be with my weapon. I can literally blast you with a fireball at distance, explode you, and if your buddy just happens to be within my radius of influence, he gets immediately terrified of the fact that I just incinerated you way over there. And thematically, it makes sense. To me, though, it's so easy to just cheese on that shit. I can do improved blind fight. I get another meta magic. I already have intensified, and really that's the only one I actually give a damn about. Some spell pen. Spell specialization. So I have like a +2 to one of my spells. It's not the worst one ever. I could get... Yeah, none of these things. Make sure there's nothing at the bottom. Yeah, armor focus. There's nothing there I care about there. So the question is, what do I really want? Intimidating prowess. Remember, I intimidate people with my high persuasion and my high strength now. So the strength will combine to it, so making it even more likely that I scare the shit out of them. And I'm okay with that one, because again, we are still doing Cornigan Smash / Shatter defenses. So again, if they're scared of me, they're flat-footed to my attacks. I'm okay with that part. Now for the next one, honestly, I think I like the idea to improve to weapon fighting. It's an extra offhand attack. Why wouldn't you want another attack? And on this last one, I'll probably get greater to weapon fighting, so I can get a third offhand attack. Or spell focus, invocation. There's nothing wrong with doing that too. Now, spell-wise, what am I missing? Effortless armor, I never use it, so I don't even care that I don't pick it. Elemental body 1, I'll never use it. Enlarged mass person, or mass enlarged person, I'll never use it. True Seeing, on the other hand, here's the list that I'm missing. Dragon kind, remember, you turn into a dragon and you do not have your longsword. So this is a terrible idea for a sword saint. True Seeing, on the other hand, is a staple. And I'll happily take, I guess, Greater Dispel Magic. Unless I want... Yeah, that's it. Really, I have every spell I want now. Everything else at this point, I'll just grab it and fill it up as I need. But I'm doing pretty damn good. Now, I have a spell book, of course, too. Let's grab ourselves... See, I got fire, I got cold, I got acid. Turn someone into a dog every now and again. I have Sirocco, I have Acid Fog, and I can get the intensified version of these guys. Acidic Spray, Fire Snake, Chrono Cold. Remember, for me, I'm better at it than Lindsay. Because she's Spontaneous Caster. Because I have to specifically choose these are still the normal casting time. See that standard action? Whereas if Lindsay's was Meta Magic, it would, the same Cone of Cold Intensify, let's say she could cast that, would actually say it's casting time full round. So again, it's because I have a spell book, because I have to actively choose that Meta Magics are extremely valuable for me, which is funny, because that really screws over the sorcerers, who are supposed to be the ones, in my understanding, that got Meta Magic for free. But I'm okay with it. And again, solid choice. I'll take True Seeing, so again, I don't have to worry about seeing invisible things. I can totally slap that shit in a heartbeat. And remember, I get armor based on my intelligence modifier and my Sword Saint level, whichever is the lowest. So I'm already at a +10. I'm already at 17 levels of Sword Saint, so I'm getting +10 to armor here from Candy Defense. That's the only reason that that's important. Notice I'll go to 31 by the end of this, or 32 to the end of this build. I'll get another point at level 20, so this will be +11. Remember, I've yet to turn on my ring. That's the Ring of Circumstances for intelligence. That could go from 11 then to a 12 by the end of this build. And again, I have more than 12 levels of Sword Saint, so I'm still good. So I'll have a 12 extra armor from Candy Defenses. See that for dodge, Candy Defenses? That'll be a 12 by the end of this build. 13 if I get that potion from Bakken, because that's a +2 to everything. And that's a steady bump. See what I'm saying? So this will be a solid tanky character. It's not as good as it could be, because again, Dex would be better. But I can still invest in Dex. I mean, I clearly have the Dex belt on, 6, 6, and 6 strength, Dex, and Con. When I get the 8, 8, and 8, they'll be even better still. But I do solid damage, multiple attacks, and if I switch to the offhand weapon, I'll now have 2 extra attacks over here and 3 attacks at least on that side, so that's 5 attacks in a combat round. By the end of the build, I could have even up to 6 or more. So solid swings, really good armor, decent spells, nice skill set from the high intelligence character. I'm very happy with this build. Alright, we're done with that. Alright. Okay, here's the Royal Highness. Welcome to the Rushlight Tournament. Time ready for the boasting contests. Shall we? Everyone's ready. Let's begin. Dun dun dun. The tournament continued with a boasting contest. The first participant, a man from Daggermark, stepped up to the podium and told a raunchy story about him sneaking into a temple of Calistria and seducing all the priestesses, including the high priestess, in a single night. The crowd was particularly amused by the suggestive glances he kept casting toward one of the guests from Timon. She simply smiled mysteriously in response. Gross. The second participant was a guest from Gralton, who told a completely plausible tale about his travels across other planes, where he battled undead hordes and defeated a blood-curdling monster. Gazebo. Didn't. Okay. He was an average storyteller at best. He'd be lucky to get a C for that story at the Academy. But the listeners were inexplicably elated. Suspicious, we took a closer look at the crowd, and of course we spotted a bard using some tricks of the trade, and likely a little magic to aid the Gralton man's performance. We didn't interfere. Diplomacy check. This is, again, something that we have to decide on. Stealth of 6'6", and that's cute. Stealth 25. We snuck up on the bard, stabbed him in the back, and disappeared. Good job, Octavia, evil bitch. We have an intimidation check. We kindly warned the bard that would shut him up if he kept interfering. We pointed out the cheating to the judges. Narc. But clearly this is the highest one. But again, for argument's sake, we did save before this, so let's actually do it the right way. Let's do the lowest one. So we got, again, we have a stealth of 25, and it makes us evil to do it. Stealth 25. What was the other one? Intimidate 35. Diplomacy 40. And again, we're going to crush these ones, so this is nice. Stealth succeeded. 180 XP for everybody. The bard collapsed to the ground, choking on his own blood. By the time the crowd noticed, we were long gone. Needless to say, the audience's impressions of the Gralton's participants performed was ruined. Next thing. Then it was Pitax's turn. The kingdom's honor was represented by Anamid Bellavara, a sweet-voiced singer whose smile could win over the most withered of hearts. Oh, Anamid. But while her... Lindsay, you little salute. While her voice was smoother than silk, her words stung like arrows. With a soft smile, Anamid told everyone how she'd spent months in our kingdom learning our secrets and instigating a riot. Of course, the honest trade of the bard and the shady dealings of the spy often go hand in hand, but, oh, Anamid, who could have expected such an ugly blow from such a lovely lady? She described in surprising and exceptionally critical detail how much the citizens of our young state suffered under the atrocities of the troll assaults and the magic plague. She never stooped to actual lies, but she made it sound as though our king, Baron at the time, was simply drinking and debauching while his subjects struggled. I barely debauched at all, you bitch. She made our crusade against Vorticai look like a cunning conquest of Varnhold, and the war with the Tiger Lords was characterized as an irresponsible venture. Talk about cruel and unfair. When Anamid finished and left the stage, it was our turn to perform. And what feats did our participant decide to tell in their performance? So here's our choices. We got 3 that are 27, and I'm fairly certain that all of them are going to be the same. So 27s. We got Bluff, Intimidate, and Diplomacy in general. And then we have the Diplom, hardest one, of course, at 36. This is, again, why Diplomacy is one of the most important skills in the game. Remember, I always invest in Persuasion, I always invest in Perception, and I always invest in Trickery on a solo build for these 3 reasons. So, again, you got to be able to pick those locks, you got to be able to perceive those locks, and again, you got to be able to bluff your way out of it shit when the poop hits the fan. So, if you want to be any kind of decent soloer in this game, those 3 skills alone, you have to get to a respectable level, and then you can see why. At the end of the game, missing out on this XP is going to suck. So let's do the bluff. He wove an interesting but entirely fictional tale for the audience. Sure she did. She succeeded. Eliza took a deep breath and began lying enthusiastically. She started with us supposedly setting off to the snowy woods of Irizin in search of the missing queen of witches. Baba Yaga, which led us to another planet entirely, interfering in a war between dragons. We then went through a portal to another world, one full of previously unseen technologies, where we hunted down Baba Yaga's son, an insane monk who had her trapped in a nesting doll. The audience listened on the rapt attention, their mouths hanging open. The audience hung on every word, sometimes laughing uncontrollably, sometimes holding their breath to avoid missing anything. Eliza finally brought the story to an end, and the viewers gave her a standing ovation as she left the podium. You lying bitch. Nice. The one from Timon, a priestess of Calistria, went last. She told stories of her love affairs in faraway countries and on other planes, casually mentioning an unpleasant disease she contracted over her journeys that took her a long time to get rid of. Hearing that, the participant from Dagmar paled and grabbed at his belt, bringing roaring laughter from the rest of the audience. I guess he visited her tent recently. And finally, the judges announced the winner, Eliza. She walked up, and again, so 360. Actually, did we get another XP? Oops, get it back over there. Did we get any up here? No. So 360 was for that one. Okay, so for diplomacy, it was 360 XP. Close. All right, before we do any of that, let's actually backpedal. And then remember, there's the third contest still to do. We're getting lots done today for XP, though. I would not be surprised if our other two teammates leveled up in this. It'd be a nice upgrade for us, because that turns them to level 16, I believe. 15. 16. And that'll be nice for them, because they really need to get that extra skill point or ability point. So, here we go. Ready to participate in the boasting contest. Here we go. So already we know what the stealth one did. We're looking for the intimidate 35, excuse me. So succeeded intimidate check 35. The bard got the message and quickly disappeared without the bard's support. The guest from Gralton immediately lost the audience's approval. As he grew more nervous, he began mumbling and stumbling over his words, and he eventually left the podium among jeers and whistles. So that one earns you 3,840 XP a piece. That's not bad. It's Pitak's turn. Okay, so let's check the intimidate. In response to Animede's story, we recounted how we dealt with Tartuccio, another one of Iravetti's spies. Tell him the story, sister. Looking meaningfully at Animede, Elisa spoke of the sad fate that befell the last of Iravetti's spies and what may be in store for any other spies we might come across. The audience hung on her every word, sometimes laughing uncontrollably, blah, 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 holding his breath. Elisa finally brought the story to an end, and the viewers gave her a standing ovation. And again, same one with the guy here. We win 360. Again, same amount. Okay, close. And back in time again. Again, I'm going to assume the diplomacy one for the same one is also 360, but I will do it just for sake of completion. And of course, now we need to pass the diplomacy 40 check, which should be a breeze. She's going to crush it. She's got like a 36 for diplomacy or some shit. And that's going to be the biggest XP pool from this set. Ready to participate? Sure. Alright, so diplomacy 40. We pointed out the cheating to the judges. Narc! Succeeded at diplomacy check. The judges were reluctant to believe us, but the cheating was easy to spot once you knew to look for it. Once they concluded we were right, the guest from Gralton was disqualified and forced to leave the podium in disgrace. And that was over 23,000 XP a piece. Oh my god, that one's freaking tits. Then, diplomacy 27, he told the story of the time the Baron was made an honorary goblin. Nice. Well, not exactly a glorious feat, the story certainly had great material for jokes. The audience likes laughing at simpletons, and Eliza did all she could to have them rolling in the aisles. 360. Okay, so yep, same thing. Now, let's go for the win, shall we? I want that 23,000 XP for my team. Waka waka waka. Come on, load up. Thank you. Alright, let's do this thing. Do you? What you got to say for yourself? Diplomacy 40. We pointed out that she got 39. My apologies. That was a 36. Passed it. Okay, now last one. Diplomacy. He regaled them, or she regaled them with tales of our victories over the Stag Lord, the Trolls, Vorticai, and Armada. Like I said, we literally have plenty of stories to tell them. The question is are you artful enough to describe them to capture the audience's attention? Which is why diplomacy is so important, or in this case, persuasion. 39. Hit that sister. Yes, and that's 5 grand more XP apiece. Holy shit. Good lord. It wasn't easy getting the crowd excited for this story. They were all glorious feats, of course, but that was the problem. The audience had already heard them time and time again. Eliza used all the eloquence she could bring to bear to breathe new life into these old stories. Only in every word that or so forth were awesome, and 5,760 XP for everybody. What? And one of them leveled up. Saving that. What you got to say for yourself, little rogue buddy? Another rogue talent. Hell to the yeah. Skill point. Now, what to level up? Obviously, intelligence is her bread and butter. Notice, she's got a +6 from the headband, so she's at a 20 right now. She could be at 22 by the end of this build, which is the highest an elf can take it. Dex-wise, though, she's currently with a +4 on a belt. She's at a 22, so she's at an 18. I could put 2 more in this and finish her dex off at a solid 20 before enhancements. Now, why would you might want to do that over the other? Well, more armor for one, more reflexes for another. Not that she's hurting in that regard, but a better chance for her to hit with her weapon finessing as well as her ray spells. Also a good option. And missing something else. What is the other thing? She's 2-weapon fighter. She has the ability to do 2-weapon fighting, improved 2-weapon fighting, and greater 2-weapon fighting if you have a dex of 19 or higher. Right now her dex is at a 18. So this point would technically be necessary to get her to 19 to effectively have that feat and strip all the gear off of her. She'd still have that feat working. And I know that's a silly reason to do it, because again, who gives a shit, right? Because again, if you have the magic gear on, why would you ever take it off? But again, I hate having feats contingent on whether I'm equipping a specific piece of gear. Sadly, it sucks and it's a thing that we deal with. But in this case, I don't mind it because, again, it does benefit her a variety of ways. Her attacks will be better, her armor will be better, her reflexes will be better, and again, her mobility, trickery, and stealth will be better. All things that she can appreciate. So again, I don't mind it for that reason. If we went the other way, by the way, for intelligence, and got the point here in intelligence and the one at level 20 for her intelligence, because we will get to 20 by the end of this playthrough, she'd get a crap ton more skill points, and again, it would allow her more likely than not to be able to use magic device fully caught up for one, and probably invest in either persuasion or athletics and get them to a decent respectable number as well. So that's something. So if that's your thing, again, intelligence based builds are amazing for this reason. Sadly, elves can never get to 24 by the end of the build naturally. I can as a human, because you can start with an intelligence of 19. The best she could start as is an intelligence of 18. So the best that she could finish would be a 23, which would be dumb. So 22 would be where she would stop. I can finish at a 24 because I can invest all 5 points into intelligence if I so choose. And therefore 19 jumps up to a 24. That's a solid intelligence by the end of this build. She's still fine, and I don't think that she's going to be hurting too much to be at a 26 instead of a 28. So I'd rather have that dex. Now, rogue talent. Now notice, unavailable. Confounding blades here. If we wanted it, you get slow reactions first. Confounding blades, this is an upgrade of slow reactions. So when you basically do sneak attack damage, the target cannot make attacks of opportunity for a round. If you have slow reactions, that's this guy here. If you get confounding blades, which is the upgraded version, which of course requires slow reaction first, then this one, when we have 2 to pick from, here and here. So we could do this still. Then instead of it being 1 round, it's 2 to 5 rounds, which is something. This the reason this is important, by the way, attacks of opportunity. Remember, this would allow her to run in. Think of it this way. Okay, let's tell a story. We have a character that's a sneak attacker. We're in battle. She has blades out. She's not the toughest of us. She's a tough undead character. Don't kid yourself. She has plenty of spells to buff her besides. But she's not the toughest. That's Eliza's job. Eliza's in a pinch. She needs to come in and do some damage because Eliza's, let's say, getting mauled because she's the tank. She's the one that's the center point, hopefully, of everything that's melee. So, Protolich runs in, sneak attacks the bastard. Thanks to slow reactions, it allows her to dip away. Why does it allow her to dip away? Because if you attack, and its sneak attack is applicable, which it should be, because her and Eliza are both facing this target. She sneak attacks the target, and now she doesn't have to stay there. She can run away, because the target cannot do an attack of opportunity as she runs away. This allows her to now weave in and out of combat, to run in, sneak attack, run the fuck back. Run in, sneak attack someone else, run the fuck back. and allows her to just set up wherever she needs to do add a little extra damage. That's how I would use this. I'm not going this route, but I could see the appeal. Okay. Now, do you need confounding blades? I can't say yes or no on that. It depends on a lot of things. How are you setting it up? Think of it this way. Say this is Eliza. This is the guy that she's fighting. I am here, and I have just slow reactions. Remember, it only lasts for a round. If I have to come in, stab you, what's the chances I have enough time to run the fuck away in the same combat round? Probably not, right? So, why would I need it to be more than one combat round? You see the appeal of this one? So it gives me a chance to run in, stab, my turn's over. His turn starts, he swings, maybe he misses, maybe he hits, doesn't matter. He's still got sneak attack from me last round, and it's going to last for 2 to 5 rounds, minimum 2 rounds. Which means next round, when it's my turn, I have a chance to boop, dodge the fuck out. So maybe that's the reason you want confounding blades. If, another example for why slow reactions by itself might be useful. Again, let's say this is the bad guy, this is Eliza tanking him, and she's already here on top of the dude. She doesn't have to move to him, she can already stab him. She's standing right there. I can poke you in the face multiple times and I still have my full movement. In that same round, that allows her to stab, 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 hopefully sneak attack, sneak attack, sneak attack, hit him with 1 round of screw you with slow reactions, and in that same round has the time to dip the fuck out by about 30 to 60 feet, depending on how she's buffed her speed. That would still be useful. This would be more useful, obviously, but again, it's placement. Are you on top of the guy right now, or are you going to run in, stab, and run the fuck away? Because if that's your goal, then you probably want the bigger version. That's my take on it. Again, I never take them, but that's how they should work. Notice, we can get a familiar. We have fast stealth, so literally instead of her crouching and moving all super fucking slow, she can literally just be zipping across the goddamn battlefield, completely goddamn invisible, and it does not cause her any penalty. Full speed using her stealth skill without any penalty. So think about it. How fast can we make her? Well, with gear and spells, I can get her to at least a 60 round speed. Probably a 70, maybe a 90. Think about how fast that is. Across the battlefield, completely goddamn invisible. And there's no penalty to it. I'm going from here to there, and if they can't perceive me and I can still book it 60 feet per second, or per round, I'm over to the other goddamn side of the goddamn map and stabbing some dumbass rogue or wizard or cleric in the goddamn heart while all the tanks are way behind me in the dust trying to catch up to my invisible ass. That's okay. I can do a focusing attack where they literally, anytime I do a sneak attack, I can take away the sickened condition from myself, or a shaking condition from myself, or a confused condition from myself, which seems dumb. I can get improved evasion. Remember, I have evasion. I can get improved evasion. Look at this one. Evasion, first off, let's talk about evasion first. Evasion is the one where literally if you make a reflex save to avoid damage, you get half damage if you make the save. You take full damage if you fail. If you have evasion, if you make the save, you take no damage. If you don't make the save, you still take full damage. Now here's improved evasion. Improved evasion allows you to literally make the save, you still take no damage. If you fail the save, you only take half. For someone that's squish, that's pretty baller. So think about how awesome that is for her, that she literally is now taking only half damage from any reflex spell for damage, anyway. Now, yeah, the goal is, of course, that she makes the save and takes no damage, so awesome. But when it does, eventually it sneaks through, she rolls that nat 1, man, it's going to happen. And instead of taking that full fireball to the goddamn face, it's only half damage. Just saying, that looks pretty goddamn sexy, right? So, that's a choice. Now, that's not the only choice. We can get a weapon focus. Remember, she has weapons. We got daggers, we got rapiers, and we're going to have something else down here, probably punching daggers is my guess. So we could get a weapon focus in one of those things and have a better swing. We get a blinding strike. Character who selects this talent basically gets the blinding critical. So when she crits somebody, they literally are blinded for X number of rounds or permanently or whatever. It's an awesome, awesome feat for free, basically. And she doesn't have to meet the requirements. So that's the best part. So again, she would need a specific character level. She would need probably critical focus and improved criticals or whatever for the weapon of choice. So again, a lot of things that she would need to set that up. But for rogues, they just get it for free. They just pick it. In this case, at level 15 or higher. So for her, this is the soonest she could have grabbed it. So solid choice. Blinding a target with every crit she lands. Downside is daggers are not crit prone weapons. They crit all right. It's on a 19 or 20. A keen version is on a 17, 18, 19, or 20. That's still pretty goddamn good. And she two-weapon fights, so you know she's going to fucking crit as often as she can with that greater two-weapon fighting. So it's multiple attacks in a combat round. But now look at the main weapon that we put in her main hand, the rapier. That's the one that crits all the goddamn time. That's the 17, 18, 19, or sorry, 18, 19, 20 for a normal crit range. And if it's keen, which of course, why wouldn't you give her the keen ones? That jumps from 18, 19, 20 to 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. That's a 30% chance that you'll roll to confirm a crit. That doesn't mean she'll crit, that she could confirm a crit. Try to. That's a freaking huge jump. So she went from 15% chance to a 30% chance to land a crit. That's not bad. And that's on her main weapon. So you can see the appeal here for at least that kind of weapon. We can do a combat trick. This opens up like a laundry list of all kinds of shit that she has access to. Hell, I still don't even have dodge on her. I can get double slice. That's the one where she's wielding two weapons and uses her dex modifier for both of them. If it's agile weapons, which of course, why wouldn't you give her agile weapons? It improves her damage ridiculously. Solid choice. I could give her improved criticals again on that rapier, so that doesn't matter if she has a keen rapier or not. It's going to be a keen version just because it's in her hand. I gave her improved precise shot. Remember, she has ray spells. So improved precise shot. She can ignore blur effects with her ray spells even. And that's pretty solid. I can do Piranha Strike. Hell, she don't even have Piranha Strike. No wonder her damage is kind of crap. Oh, hell yeah. We get Piranha Strike in here. She probably already has Arcane Strike, I'm assuming. No, she went, wow. Oh, this would be a nice one for her. So this is the equivalent of Power Attack, but for dex-based builds. Okay. Now, yes, Power Attack would be better if she was using a two-hander weapon, like at any point in her life. Power Attack would be better. But there's no need for her to do Power Attack, and she can't get Power Attack on this build, except for the fact that she has magic gear on. Remember, her strength is not 13. Power Attack has a strength requirement of 13. It's because she has magic gear that she can pick Power Attack. But I'd rather grab Power Strike for her if that's something I'm going to grab. I'm not saying that's our choice. I could give her Arcane Armor Training. Remember, she does not have the ability to wear armor right now without having Arcane Spell Failure. The downside is she doesn't have the ability to wear armor, I don't think, right now either. So we got Precise Shot, Two-Weapon Fighting, Accomplished Sneak Attacker, Tattoos, Meta Magic, Greater Two-Weapon Fighting. Yeah, she doesn't have anything that allows her to wear armor. Now watch this one last one that we still need to talk about. Improved Uncanny Dodge. She has Uncanny Dodge. Here's Improved Uncanny Dodge. The character can no longer be flanked. Remember what flank does for you? It sets up Sneak Attack, for one thing. And this defense denies another rogue the ability to sneak attack the character by flanking her, unless the attacker has at least 4 more rogue levels than the target does. Well, I'm level 16, so they'd have to be a rogue 20. What's the chances of that? And by the time they are, I'll probably be 17, which means they'd have to be a rogue 21, which I don't think exists in this game. So you see the appeal of Improved Uncanny Dodge. For someone that's going to be in the front ranks, that's a solid upgrade. Now the downside is I can't pick all of these things. Now the question is, what could I pick up now? And for those other feats that we were just talking about, I can pick those up later. So this combat trick, I was just talking about how, I'd really like to have Piranha Strike, right? I can get that here. Oh, I'd really like to have Improved Precise Shot. I can get that here. Or Dodge or Double Slice. Again, I got those up here. I have choices here. And I still can pick one down here later on. Now, again, the question is that worth it to you? Last thing to really talk about are these two here. So here's Crippling Strike. This is the one that Knock Knock has. So every time you do Sneak Attack, it does -2 to their strength, because you're hampering the target. And remember, she gets multiple attacks. So does Knock Knock. That's why he's two-weapon wielding, right? He's great at it. So I can have that with her, too. And literally, they can die from lack of strength. You can take their strength to 0 or less this way, they die from it. Doesn't matter if they have 5 million HP. If they have a strength of 0 or less, they die. So she could just chop, sneak attack, sneak attack, sneak attack. And that's cool. The other one to talk about here is Double Debilitation. She has a toggle that she can activate, one of 3. One lowers their chances to swing at her, like a -2 to all their swings after they've been sneak attacked. One lowers their armor class by 2 for everyone attacking them. So again, setting them up, making it easier to hit them or making it harder for them to hit her or us. But the third one is like it slows their speed. Like it hampers them. Thing is cutting their Achilles tendon. There's like 5 foot speed decrease or some shit like that. So they're really slow. Now, having said all that, you can only have one on at a time. Double debilitation allows you to activate 2. And while I don't give a damn about the moving slower part, the 2 that really are beneficial to her is you have less armor and you have a less chance to hit us. That's a win-win across the board. And she's going to sneak attack. You know, that's part of her cup of tea. So why not give her the ability to straight up, you know what, you have 2 penalties on you now, you son of a bitch. You can see the appeal. But we don't get that many to choose from, so you have to be picky. So again, my question then is, what am I going to pick? Well, I know I'm not going to get Blinding Strike. Well, I would love to have it, and it is awesome. And remember, while they're blind, technically speaking, they can't see you. Guess what? Sneak attack. Right? You kind of see the appeal of that one. I should have mentioned Canny Observer. That's just a bonus to your perception. But Crippling Strike, I like the strength penalty. And again, if she's fighting hard-hitting opponents that are like wailing on me or Eliza, she's coming in to help us out. Sneak attack, sneak attack, sneak attack, sneak attack. Every freaking sneak attack, -2 to strength, -2 to strength, -2 to strength. That really chops away the strength of that hard-hitting motherfucker really fast. Garbage use on a dex-based build, or fighting a guy that has a high dexterity. But if it's a strength-based character, more likely than not, this is amazing. So that's definitely a contender. Improved evasion, I like it. And again, the appeal of taking half damage guaranteed from every reflex save spell out there is pretty damn baller. But, honestly, improved uncanny dodge, never being flanked. If we're going to take her melee, never being flanked is a baller idea. And there's a, let me see, for uncanny dodge about never being flat-footed. There is a never being flat-footed spell out there. She does not have access to that spell. That's a spell for wizards. So of course Octavia could get that spell. She cannot. She can get it on a scroll or a wand or something like that, but that's it. That's the best case scenario. And that's that one where it's like a prescient divine spell. So a solid choice. Now, having said all that, what's our opportunist? Oh, this is another good one, by the way. Sorry. I should point this out too. Opportunist. The character can make an attack of opportunity against an opponent who has just been struck for damage and melee by another character. So let's say her and Eliza are, again, side by side up here, dealing damage to this guy. So Eliza smacks him in the face just once, but just barely. She's right here. Attack of opportunity. Just without fail. Attack of opportunity. This attack counts as an attack of opportunity for that round and can't be used more than once per round. So again, if she smacks him and smacks him again and smacks him again in the same combat round, she doesn't get 3 attacks of opportunity there. She just gets 1 on the guy. But that's not the point. She can still smack him in the face. It's extra damage. So it's literally just ganging up on a dude. And that's a solid upgrade too. Don't kid yourself. That's a solid upgrade. So, what are we going to grab though? Wow. So it's a question of, do I want more damage? Do I want to cripple people? Do I want double debilitation? Again, that's a -2 to their swing and -2 to their armor. That's a lot of screw you. I do like the uncanny dodge, and I like the opportunist. So my choices are this one, maybe that one. Double debilitation, crippling strike, or blinding strike, which we've already passed on. So probably these 2 or the other 2. So these ones are great in that they are straight screw you to the bad guys. These ones here are more protection for her. So what do you think she needs more of? Well, while it would be nice to never be flanked and to not be sneak attacked by any other rogue ever, the goal is never to have that happen anyway. So why not do something like Crippling Strike, where every time I smack you in the goddamn face with a sneak attack, you little bastards are actually taking -2 to strength, -2 to strength, -2 to strength, so constantly lowering their chance to hit me, unless they're weapon finessing. So again, great against anything that's not a rogue type. I like that. We're going to do Crippling Strike, just like Knock does. That was a long roundabout way to say that I wanted that. Level 6 spells now. Bye-bye. Finally. First, let's look at the laundry list that she had available. See what she's missing out on. She doesn't have Hideous Laughter, Summon 6 Goblins. And she'll never get that one unless she picks it. Why? Because that spell doesn't exist in the game. This is because of my mod. Lightning Bolt, Deep Slumber, good spells. Level 4 stuff, Phantasmal Killer, Rainbow Pattern, Fears, amazing spell. Acid Pit's decent. Well, oh, and remember, she's a Necro person, so we want to focus on Necromancy spells, so Fear's a solid choice here. I like nothing in there. Transformation, Undeath to Death, Sirocco, classic. Hellfire Ray, Greater Heroism. What else we got at the top here? Let's work our way down. Acid Fog, nah. Chains of Light, Circle of Death, ooh. Let's grab ourselves Hellfire Ray, because you know you want it. Sirocco's a staple, but I have that on my build, so I don't necessarily need it on hers right now. Tarpool's okay, but she's not a transmuter per se. I'm not to say that you can't cast it. Transformation is kind of my go-to right now, so I'm kind of going to tag that one for the time being unless I find something that I must have that's better. And I don't think I will. The only one on this list that I'd rather have maybe right now is Fear, because it is a necromancy spell. Remember, she is a Necrolord, Proto-Lich. So she is awesome at necromancy shit. So pushing that up and up and up is not the worst idea ever. And again, there's a save through this one. So having a high DC check, like she will have, is a pretty good chance it'll land. And it scares the shit out of bad guys. The downside is it scares the shit out of good guys. So you gotta be real careful she doesn't hurt us with that shit. But I do like the idea of getting transformation, and I don't know where there's a vendor that'll sell that scroll. So now's the time to probably grab the ones you must have. Boom. Saving that shit. Alright, team. Now what happens now? Rushlight tournament, present third contest. In order to join the competition, we should talk to Master Morris and Nenzio. Alright, I think we're going to do this one tomorrow, guys, because it's raining here, and I don't know how bad this recording is going to get with all this noise in the background. But, I think we did well. Notice that Eliza is a stone's throw away from leveling up herself with the next competition, or whatever the hell it is, if we're lucky. And Eliza's probably going to be our brawler for that one anyway. We'll win that one, and she'll get enough XP, hopefully, to level up herself, which would be pretty baller. And that'll put her at level 16 herself, meaning everybody leveled on this excursion, which is a solid thing for us, I say. But with that, my name is Brother Mutant. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I know this has been a long video, so we've chopping it up probably into 4 separate parts. So it's about just under 4 hours. But with that, I'll see you guys soon. Bye now.